Hello, friend, and welcome back to the Identity Glow Up podcast. If you want to learn how to level up your life, upgrade your identity, grow your confidence, and learn how to mix a little bit of the woo with a little bit of the hustle, a little bit of feminine with a little bit of the masculine, then you are in the right place. And if this is your first time listening, hello, my name is Paige Harper. I am the host of the Identity Glow Up podcast, and I help ambitious women align with who they were created to be and really attract the life that they were meant to live with ease, with joy, and of course, with a little fun. So that's a little bit about me. I'm so excited that you are here today. But before we get officially started, as always, if you could just take a minute to subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening to, as well as on YouTube if you're listening or watching, I guess, on YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Please go ahead and just take just a second to subscribe if you have not already. Leave a 5-star rating and review. I would love to know what you think of the podcast, what things you would like me to talk about next, and all of the things, because this podcast is honestly here for you. I was so excited to really be able to start a podcast, but the more that I get into it, this isn't just about me. This is about you too. This is about what you want to learn and who you want to become and the things like that you want to overcome. Like, is it a money limiting belief? Like, I know I just talked to my identity switch protocol girls today, and we're actually doing abundant August is going to be our theme. So, is it a money limiting belief that you have? Are you struggling with social media? Are you struggling with showing up confidently? Like, what is it that you're struggling with? What is the things that you want to really focus on? Let me know. Either, I guess with that, you could leave a review and say that, I guess, or you could also leave a comment on YouTube, or you can go ahead and go over to my Instagram. If you're not following me, go follow me. I have the link in the show notes for that as well. And you can just slide on into my DMs, girl. You can slide on in and we can have a conversation. So, let me know what you want to hear next. Make sure you're subscribed, rating and review, all of the things, all of the typical podcast things, and all of my socials are linked below as well. So happy Tuesday. As always, when you're listening to this, we are a Tuesday launch type of podcast, mostly just because Mondays are my days that I work my business. This is the day that I get to act as if I'm a full-time business owner. And the other 4 days of the week, I am a full-time pharmacist. So I don't have the time to record a podcast, but I want to get the podcast out to you ASAP. So we usually 9 times out of 10, we record on a Monday and we put it out on a Tuesday. This weekend was so amazing. We had a little bit of a tornado warning, so that wasn't so fun. But I got to spend a lot of time with my kids. That's something that I've really been. I mean, if you guys know, if you've been listening to the podcast long enough, you know that I'm very much in my hustle energy. That's like my baseline. That's my normal, is like this hustle energy. I was working like 4 hours a day on the weekends, like for my business. I was doing all of the things to try to make sure that like I was on the right track. And I don't know what it is. I feel like in July, I'm like, I'm gonna be hot, rich, and that bitch. And when I automatically said that, I was like, okay, time to hustle. And I went all in. I had this thing of like going through of like, what is the schedule that I'm going to have? How many times I was going to post like 3 times a day. I was going to do this many reach outs a day. I was going to message this many people. Like, there was just so many things I was going to do. And I did like 2 or 3 days of it. And I was like, better not. To quote Fat Amy from Pitch Perfect, better not. Like, it just didn't work for me. I struggled. I like shut down, and I'm like, what is going on? Because that's not normally like me. And for some reason, I really got into more of this like feminine energy type of vibe. And that's kind of what I've been rolling with. And part of feminine energy, and I think part of the reason too, is because I have my Rooted and Relentless program that I'm actually going to go live in a call today on. I'm so excited. But there's also, if you guys want to join, there's a link in the show notes for that as well. But with Rooted and Relentless, like I talk a lot about who you are as a person, and who I am as a person outside of my business is a mom, a wife. Like I love to, what's that called? A projector on the human design thing. Like, I like to rest. I like to just relax. I like to, like, that's how I fill up my cup, is to be with my kids and get my energy back, is to be with my kids, be with my family, get stuff done around the house, like be a woman, be like like just a woman. I don't know how to describe it. Be very like in my feminine energy. And I have been leaning more into that. And I actually have a new belief that the less I work, the more money I make. Did I say a new limiting belief? That's not what I meant. A new belief is what I meant to say. A new belief that I'm putting into my brain is the less that I work, the more money I make. Because one, I don't have a whole lot of time to work. And two, that's who I want to be. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so I spend a lot of time with my kids, and we can go into a whole podcast episode on that and on money limiting beliefs and things like that too, if you want. So let me know in the comments, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, whatever, slide on into my DMs, whatever. Let me know if money beliefs, all of that is something you want to dive into. But I'm getting off track here. So let's go full force. Let's keep going forward. So happy Tuesday. I hope you're having the best day ever, or whatever day of the week, month, year you're listening to this. Okay, getting right into this. Have you ever noticed how every January you become a completely different person? Completely different person. Like January, love it. And I even had like in July, I had like my own personal new year, my own personal January. I did a podcast episode on that, I believe. I have my own little new year. But like for most people, January is like new year, new me. Like that's the norm. That's like the normal thing that people say, right? And so you are essentially forcing yourself to become this completely different person. You are shifting yourself or attempting to shift yourself into this next level identity. And for the first like couple of days, couple of weeks of the new year, you are embodying this new identity. You are acting as if you're this new identity. You're making the vision boards, you're journaling, you're buying the planner, you're declaring this is my year. You're going to the gym, you are posting on social media. You are fully believing that all of your dreams are capable and you're going to cross off everything on your vision board and everything's going to be amazing. Like this is your year. Right? And so we switch into this identity. We have this little glimpse of like this, hey, this is the person I get to be. This is the person that I can be. But then what happens? February gets busy. Hell, end of January gets busy. February gets even busier. March gets overwhelming. April, you're freaking exhausted, right? End of the school year. June, you're wondering where this like version of you that you started out, like where did the time go? That's kind of like me right now. I'm like, where did July go? My birthday is July 3rd. And I was like, I feel like my birthday was just like 2 days ago. Like where did July go? I don't understand. I'm putting my phone on do not disturb because I don't want my computer to go crazy. But like you're kind of wondering like what the hell happened? Where did January go? Where did this past month go? And you realize after a while that you got sucked back into who you always were. You started off January with a brand new identity, but then you got sucked back into who you always were instead of continuing on the path of who you were becoming, because it's so much easier to get sucked back into who you always were because that's the norm. That's what your brain trusts. That's what your brain knows, right? They say like the know, like, trust factor. Guess what? Your brain has a know, like, trust factor too. And it's going to always abide by that unless you get it to not do that, right? And so the shitty thing about this is that it's not just happening to your goals, it's also happening with your identity. It's not that it's not just that your goals are like down the toilet from January. If we're being completely honest, like we're like, okay, the goals have fizzled out, but it's not just your goals that have fizzled out. It's also your energy that has fizzled out. It's also your identity that has fizzled out, right? And so then what happens is that we keep manifesting the same exact life because we keep becoming the same exact manifestation. We keep becoming the same exact woman, essentially, right? And so today I want to talk about why that happens and why we keep manifesting the same things over and over and over again and becoming the same woman over and over and over again, even though we have such good intentions to not do that. Okay. So number one is that you're trying to create different results, but from the same identity. You're trying to create different results, but from the same identity. And so when people think of manifestation, which I've talked a lot about manifestation recently, I find this so fun, like manifestation and like the law of attraction and all of these things. I don't know, it's so fun. But like when you think about manifestation, a lot of the times, if you don't fully understand it, people think like, oh, that's very woo-woo. That's very like affirmations or like scripting or tapping or visualizations or lucky timing, or there's like the water thing where I don't know much about it, but like you have water in a cup and you speak your truth into it and then you pour the water into another cup and then you drink. I don't know. I haven't done that one. Or like writing out something 50 times, or what is there's like a 555 method. There's so many different things that people think of, like when you think of all like the TikTok trends, that's what's happening, right? And it's like we think that that's what manifestation is. And that's why some people don't believe it. And if they do believe in manifestation, they are doing all of these things, but creating the same results over and over again because there's a key thing that hasn't changed. They're doing all of these things with the affirmations, the scripting, all of those, but yet their identity stays the same. And so manifestation in the end is really just identity. Like whatever your identity is, it's like identity repeated. When you're doing these different things with the manifestation of what you think manifestation is and all of like the outside things, the affirmations and the visualizations and the meditations and all of that, you're doing that, but you're the same identity. Guess what? The identity is going to repeat. That's going to be the end result. That's going to be the end manifestation, is that your identity is just going to repeat over and over and over again, because identity is the thing that controls all of that. Like if I followed you around for 30 days, I sounds kind of creepy, but if I followed you around for 30 days, if I was a fly on your wall for 30 days and you didn't swat me away, I'd know exactly what you were manifesting the next month. Like if I followed you around all of July, I would know exactly what you're manifesting for August. If I followed you around all of August, I would know exactly what you're manifesting for September and probably for the rest of the year, for being really honest. And not because I'm psychic, even though that'd be really cool. Not because I'm psychic, not because I have magical powers, not because I'm like a wizard in Harry Potter. You know I love Harry Potter. If you don't, now you do. It's because your habits and the beliefs that you have and the things that you do and the actions that you take, it all reveals your identity. And your identity in the end, it creates your standards. And your standards, because they end up being something that you repeat over and over and over again. So that's like your baseline standard of what you do and who you are. And when you have these standards, those end up creating your actions. And your actions create your life. So every month you aren't creating like a new future. You're just recreating the old one or the same one over and over and over again, even though you think that you're doing the right thing, quote unquote, by doing the affirmations, by doing all of these very quote unquote woo woo things. You think you're doing the right thing. You think that somehow magically it's going to change, even by like listening to like the law of attraction. You're reading The Secret, you're reading all of these like spiritual books, you're reading the personal development books. You feel like these things are so fun. You're writing all these notes, you're journaling out all these things, but yet you're the same person because you haven't changed, because you haven't allowed yourself to change, because you have allowed yourself to stay stuck in the same identity over and over and over again. And so therefore, you're going to continue to take the same actions over and over and over again. There may be a little blip where you don't, but you're always going to go right back to who you are. Because if you're taking actions outside of who you truly are and what you truly believe that you're capable of, you're always going to go back down to the baseline of who you are. So like if you are someone that wants like a 6-figure business, for instance, so for me, like I want a 7-figure business and beyond, but you're still hiding, you're still ghosting social media, you're still people pleasing, you're still procrastinating, you're still undercharging, you're still quitting every launch, you're quitting when things are like, when the actual like quote unquote real life, like what's happening in the 3D world right now doesn't seem to be going your way, you quit instead of following it through, instead of continuing to keep your energy up, instead of continuing to have faith in what's happening and what's possible. You're acting exactly like the woman who doesn't have a 6-figure business. You say you want one, you have affirmations that you want one, you're journaling about what life would look like if you had one and how much you do want one, but yet the actions that you're taking are saying that you don't, right? And so sometimes we think we're like manifesting money when we're doing all of these like rituals, but in the end, you're just manifesting who you are. You're manifesting yourself over and over and over again. So you have to be able to learn how to shift that identity, okay? Number 2 is you keep proving your old story right. So number 1 was you create, this is why, just in case you missed the first part, why you keep manifesting the same life over and over again. So number 1 was you're trying to create the same or different results from the same identity. And number 2 is you keep proving your old story right. Your brain loves nothing more than being right, kind of like me. I love being right. You can ask my husband. I love being right. And even when I'm not right, I'm right. Just kidding. But like when you say things like, And when you have these beliefs like, I'm bad at sales, guess what happens? When you believe that you are bad at sales, you avoid selling. You don't sell. Or when you do sell, you do it in a really weird way because you don't actually believe that you're good at sales. So why would you show up in a good way, right? You avoid selling and no sales happen. And then you get to this point where you're like, oh, well, shit, I knew it. I knew it. See, there's proof. I'm bad at sales, right? How many of you have had that happen? I know I have. Or when you have something like, oh, okay, well, I'm inconsistent. I'm a procrastinator. That's just who I am. That's what I do. That's my identity. That's maybe you don't say that's my identity, but you've said before something like I'm a procrastinator or I'm a people pleaser or I'm inconsistent. Well, when you say things like I'm inconsistent, then guess what happens? You somehow miss a Monday. You're like, oh shit, okay, I'll get back to it tomorrow. And then you miss a Tuesday. Like, oh damn it. And then maybe you go back to like the next couple days, Wednesday, Thursday, but then you miss a Friday. And then you have this proof behind you that says, yep, knew I couldn't be consistent, knew I couldn't do it, knew I was a procrastinator, knew I didn't have it in me. Your brain ultimately does not chase success. I know we wanted to chase success, and that would be so freaking easy if it did. It would be so, wouldn't that be so nice? Wouldn't it be nice if my brain chased success? I'm putting that in my brain right now. Chase success, go. Like, wouldn't it be nice if our brain chased success? But unfortunately, it doesn't. What our brain does chase is whatever is going to keep it the safest, which whatever keeps it the safest in this instance is familiarity. And I hate that word. And the fact that I put it in my notes to say, I hate that, but familiarity is what the brain chases, right? Your identity, your brain would rather be right than rich. Your brain would rather be right that you can't do it, that you are inconsistent, that you are bad at sales, than for you to be rich because it knows how to be all of those other things. But what it does not know how to do is be rich. What it does not know how to do is be abundant, be wealthy, to love money, to not have any negative beliefs about money. It doesn't know how to do that. And so it does not love that. And so it tries to stay as far away from that as humanly possible. Okay? So that was, you keep proving your old story right. Your brain does because your brain is searching for safety. Okay. Number 3 is honestly, you're disrespecting yourself. And you're disrespecting yourself because you keep abandoning yourself. And so what happens is like, I don't think women are lazy. I think women are probably way more productive in society than most men are, maybe. But like, I don't think women are lazy at all. But what happens is that women end up failing because not because they're lazy, not because they can't do it, not because they don't want to, or not because they don't or don't have the capability of showing up, but because they don't trust themselves. They abandon themselves. They disrespect themselves to the point because they're not trusting themselves. And so you say things like, oh, well, I'm gonna, like, you promise things like I'm posting every day. I'm gonna post every single day. I'm gonna show up on my social media every single day, right? But does it happen? No. You stop. You stop. You don't do it. It gets too hard. It gets too uncomfortable. There's something that comes up. Kids get sick or whatever, and then you don't have a way to come back. Or you say things like, I'm waking up early today. If you know, I'm a 4 a.m. girly. So you're like, okay, that Paige girl on her podcast, she wakes up at 4. I'm going to wake up at 4 too. Actually, no, I'm going to wake up at 5 because 4 is a little crazy. I'm a little crazy. It's okay. I'm waking up early today, or I'm waking up early tomorrow. You maybe do it for a day or two, and then you stop because you're tired and it's hard and you give up on yourself. Or you think, okay, I'm launching this new thing. I have this thing that I'm so passionate about. I know I can help these people. And so you start the launch, but it doesn't really go as planned. People don't sign up like you thought. And you just decide, never mind, I didn't have that many people sign up. So I'm actually just going to cancel it. And so you stop. You don't. And eventually what happens is your subconscious learns, I don't believe in myself. I don't believe in myself. I abandon myself. I disrespect who I'm becoming and what's possible for me because it's easier to do so, right? Obviously, you're not putting in there like any kind of confidence or motivation or self-trust or anything like that. You're putting together a bunch of broken promises that eventually become evidence of what you can't do instead of what you can. Like, how many promises have you broken to yourself just this year alone? Hell, just last month alone. How many promises have you broken to yourself? That should be an awakening within itself, right? So that was you keep abandoning yourself or you keep disrespecting yourself. And that disrespect word is like, oh, that's a big one. That's a fighting word, right? Because I don't know about you, but I do not want to disrespect myself. And I don't think that I disrespect myself, but when I look back and I'm like, damn, there are some things that I said I was going to do and I didn't do. And you know what? That's a disrespect. That's like a level. It's almost like if you told someone that you would go somewhere and you would be somewhere and then you just don't show up, no text, no nothing. That's disrespecting them. You're doing the same damn thing to yourself. You're disrespecting yourself, except you're just not showing up for yourself instead of for someone else. Okay. Number 4, and the last one on my list is that you're addicted to the becoming instead of being. You're addicted to the becoming instead of the being. So let me help you understand. You say things like, because you would think those are kind of the same thing, right? Like, I'm becoming this person. I'm becoming confident. I'm becoming wealthy. I'm becoming successful. I'm becoming her. Like, that all sounds like really good and really nice and really amazing and really empowering, right? But the problem is that what if you're already allowed to be her? Because sometimes we get stuck in this becoming, and it's kind of like affirmations. It's kind of like how I see it, right? Where it's like you have these affirmations, you have this really good like desire of like, yes, I am powerful. I am magnetic. Money does flow to me. I am becoming this person. I am becoming successful. But the thing is that's something where it's like the universe says, in The Secret, they say like, your wish is my command, essentially, right? So you're going to be constantly becoming, but you're never going to be. You're constantly becoming, you're constantly putting in the work, you're constantly doing the doing, but you're never being. You see the difference there? It's a slight difference, but it's a difference. You're already allowed to be her. You don't have to keep becoming her. How long have you been in the becoming? How long have you been in the becoming phase of like, oh, I'm becoming a 6-figure coach. I'm becoming a 7-figure coach. I'm becoming the XYZ, whatever. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. But how long have you been stuck in the becoming instead of the being? You get to be her right now. Maybe you don't have the money that she does physically in this 3D world right now. Maybe you don't have any of those physical things right now, but mentally, you could be her now. You get to be her now. Like, how would she think today? How would she dress today? How would she sell today? How would she speak today? How would she launch today? Do you think that I want to get up every day and get dressed and like I put my nice like watch band thing on for my Apple Watch and I have my rings on and I have a necklace on, I have a nice outfit on. Like, I mean, I'm feeling good, but like I would much rather, of course, and my old identity is like, let's put on leggings and a t-shirt. No one's really going to see you. You don't have to do a podcast video today. Like t-shirt, leggings, hair up. And when my hair's up, guys, it looks crazy. It looks a little crazy because I have curly hair and a lot of the hair in the front kind of like after postpartum, which was 6 years ago, my hair still hasn't grown back. So like I have, my hair is all like whatever. I could very easily just be like, man, it doesn't matter how I look. But that's just me in the becoming phase. Because it's like, oh, well, I'm becoming her, but I'm not her right now. So, like, I don't have to dress like her. I don't have to act like her. I don't have to look like her. I don't have to speak like her because I'm becoming her. But I'm not her right now. But for me, I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I'm a multimillionaire. I'm a multimillionaire. Do I have that money in the bank? Frick, no. One day, not right now. But when I wake up and I say I'm a multimillionaire, not I'm becoming a multimillionaire, but I'm a multimillionaire right now. What do I do? Like, okay, what would I do? How am I thinking today? How am I dressing today? How am I selling today? Because you better believe I'm selling, right? How am I speaking today? How am I launching today? What are the things that I'm doing today? So there's a difference there. The identity of who you are and who you're becoming, in this sense, like who you are wanting to be, that you have to realize who that is first, and that comes before the evidence, not after. It's not see it until, or I'll believe it when I see it. It's I'll see it. How do I word that? It's not I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. It's I'll see it when I believe it. There we go. Couldn't get it out. We have to be it. We have to believe it. We have to know, we have to act as it now. My favorite thing that I took away from The Secret, which there's a bajillion, but my favorite thing in like all of the videos that I've listened to with the author of The Secret, Rhonda Byrne, is that put on an Oscar-worthy performance. You are her now. But if you're not acting as her now and you are addicted to the becoming instead of the being, of course you're going to repeat the same manifestations over and over and over again, the same boring shit that you've manifested for years over and over and over again, right? Your journal, and I want you to think about this. Your journal knows who you are. You have poured your heart and soul into your journal. The problem is that your brain and your calendar don't know who you are. They know who you currently are, but they don't know who you are as in like that next level version of you, right? So here's what I want you to take away from today's episode. First of all, I know a lot of you probably think that manifestation is broken. Manifestation is not broken. You just don't maybe fully understand it, and that's okay. But you also are not broken. You're simply just repeating an identity, and you're repeating this identity so often that it's producing this predictable result. It's producing a predictable result because that's your identity and that's what it's used to, and that's what always happens. And until the identity changes, nothing else truly will. You have to be able to change the identity first, right? And honestly, we haven't even fully scratched the surface today. I didn't want to like go too in depth here just because that would be a really, really long podcast episode. Because identifying why you're stuck is only half the equation. The bigger question is now what do you do with it, right? How do you actually become someone different? How do you stop recreating the same year and the same manifestations over and over and over again? How do you actually embody that hot, rich, and that bitch, that hot, rich, and unapologetic version of yourself instead of just journaling about her, keeping her stuck in your journal? We got to get her out of there, right? And this is exactly what I am teaching inside my brand new free masterclass, which I'm so freaking excited about. My brand new free masterclass that I'm actually doing with my coach, Mikayla Jai, on August 11th, called the Hot Rich and That Bitch Masterclass. And we are going to help you stop manifesting the same boring shit over and over and over again. Okay. This is on August 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And it is a completely free masterclass. And you are going to learn the Hot Rich and That Bitch formula to manifesting content growth and new clients effortlessly. The secret reason why you're manifesting the same shit over and over again, why your next level identity is stuck in your journal and isn't in real life, how to stop disrespecting yourself and sabotaging your success. It's going to be so freaking good. So if you're tired of saying like, oh, maybe next month, maybe next launch, maybe next year, this masterclass is for you. And the fact that both of us are going to be on this, it's like double the value and there's going to be so much energy there. We did a podcast episode a couple months ago. Oh my gosh, we went on for forever. There was so much energy. It was so powerful. So the second half of 2026 does not have to look like the first half. You get to decide that today. So I will leave the registration link in the show notes. Again, it's completely free. I cannot wait to see you there. And that's all I have for you today. So if you love this episode, again, please make sure you share it to your stories with your takeaway, your favorite part, all of the things, and I will share it back on my story. Make sure you go and register for that free masterclass. It's going to be absolutely incredible. There will be a replay as well if you can't make it live. And yeah, that's all I have. So thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you next week. Love you. Bye.